Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Stay at Home Bookkeeper podcast, Real Talk, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the real side of building a business. Now,
Which can be
today,
ugly.
yes. I love it. Today we had a really fun conversation with Rachel and Dalton, and they specialize in helping businesses grow through creative marketing strategies, including direct mail marketing. In this episode, we're going to talk about what it takes to really start and grow a business, some simple ways that business owners can get creative and start getting their name out there, and why we need to go back to our roots, why some of the most overlooked marketing strategies can actually be the most effective in today's age. So, whether you are just starting your bookkeeping business or you are looking for new ways to grow this year, I think you are going to love this conversation. Let's dive in.
All right, everyone, we're so excited to be here and have you all listening and joining here today. Emily and I have an amazing guest today. Some friends of mine that I've known several years, actually, Rachel Smith and Dalton Joyner. They are going to be here today, and we are going to, as we say, pick their brain on marketing. One of the favorite things that we all need and love to do, obviously, in our businesses on how to go and acquire new clients, but by using marketing. Y'all know how much I love live fitting, but sometimes you just got to have real marketing and advice and opportunities. And so, Rachel and Dalton, welcome. We're glad to have you here and have you share with us today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us on. We're really excited to be here. I sound like this because I'm sick, so excuse me. I don't always sound like this.
No, no, it's
I
okay.
hope you find
We
it
just
okay to
mentioned.
listen.
We just literally just said, hey, as entrepreneurs, like you're gonna work when you're sick. You may, if y'all see my grandkid jump in here, hey, you're gonna get that too. The noises, like that's just part of being an entrepreneur, right?
It sure is. Wouldn't have it
That's
any other way.
that's true. Hey Dalton, how are you today?
Hi, dear. Doing well. Super excited to be here. I appreciate you inviting us. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited to have you both here. We come from a different space where we were out acquiring businesses and working together. And I happen to know how amazing you both are. And I want to say this in a really cool way because marketing is marketing, and everyone kind of puts marketing in a box. The two of you like to think outside of the box. You're like, here's marketing. It's right here. It's in this beautiful little box with a bow. And you're like, nope, we're going to go around it and we're going to be very creative and come up with new ways to get noticed. I know
Mhm.
specifically in direct mail, and we'll dive into that here in a second. But you guys are just really, really good at taking an idea and then really thinking outside of the box of how to make that better and then running full strength ahead and not letting anything get in your way. And so we're gonna kind of have you guys share that here today, and Emily and I are gonna pull some questions out. So why don't we start with, I know you very well, but why don't y'all tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Deanna. That's awesome. I do like to think outside of the box, and I think one of our favorite things that we do is direct mail, and we do it in a little bit of a different way. Everybody knows you could send out postcards, you can send out letters, you can do whatever, and it's going to cost you a bunch of money. The way that we have discovered, because we also have a real estate investing business, we were looking to get our name out there for that. And of course, we didn't want to dive into our pockets or somebody else's pockets. So we use a strategy where we do a large postcard and then we feature other local businesses on that same postcard. And a lot of times we shoot to have a restaurant or a coffee shop on there, and that makes it what we call sticky, which means that the recipients are going to keep it on their fridge, and then we stay on the fridge along with all the rest of the businesses as well. So it's a really neat strategy, just kind of bringing the community together, and we don't have to spend any money on our direct mail marketing. So
You
that's
know
one of
why?
our
Why is that, Rachel? Just tell them why you don't have to spend any money.
because the other businesses pay for it.
Right.
And we actually make money on it. So in our marketing agency, it's a service that we've installed to the front end of our agency. And of course, we use it to get ourselves free marketing, but it's also a foot in the door offer to the rest of our services for the rest of our agency. So it has multiple purposes and it's very, very cool. So it's actually a revenue and profit generator for our agency as well. There's so many pieces to that.
Dalton, did you want to add anything to that? That was great, Rachel.
Yeah, no, I know the audience for this podcast is CPAs, and we've actually had a few on our card. So this is something that would absolutely work for that industry as well,
Mhm.
getting is even residential work instead of business work. So it can go both ways.
Yeah, CPAs, bookkeepers, anyone in that
Yeah.
space. I think the financial space, because I think what I love the most is that when I saw what y'all were doing, again, oversized postcard, you've got your business in there. Everyone is paying you to be on this card. And you
Yep.
guys do what, 5,000 at a time, right? Or something like that, right? In
Yeah,
bulk?
so we do 2,500 each mailing and we do two
Okay.
mailings a month. So it comes out to 5,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. So think about being in front of 5,000 homes or 5,000 potential businesses because some of them either work for a business, own a business, or know of a business,
Yeah.
or maybe related to a business. Like everyone knows someone, right? Like being in
Right.
front of 5,000 people's eyeballs. And what Rachel said with being sticky, which is what I love the most, is they're not going to throw it away in the mail like anything else because they want to keep it. It needs to go on their refrigerator. It needs to go on their bulletin board by their desk. Like, or it may need to go in their car so they have it every time they're driving around. So I love that.
Yeah, and you can actually do this same strategy with businesses as well. We've done it with targeted or like a targeted mailing to business owners. And the way we did that, we actually bought the list from our Chamber of Commerce. They actually offer that. So it's all the members of the
Hmm.
chamber, you get their addresses. So we took that list and we did the same thing, but this time it was just mailed a little bit differently. Same concept, but mailed through first class mail instead of EDDM, which stands for Every Door Direct Mail. So EDDM is the residence, targeted mail is if you have an actual address and a recipient. So we did the same strategy. We got a few businesses that were more focused on acquiring commercial customers versus residential. They pay for the card and we rode for free. So you can apply that as well to businesses. So if that makes more sense for your CPA or your bookkeeping business, you can apply that same strategy and still get your mail for free.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love this whole idea, especially if you're a bookkeeper, a CPA, or along the financial industry. Like, your whole goal is to create a relationship when it comes to B2B. And if you're able to grow that business owner's top line by providing just a little bit of value for a couple $100, I mean, it's a no-brainer for what it's being provided, and you're getting shown to your ideal customer, consistently, and you're building a relationship in the process with the business owner. That way you're going to be able to sell your other services on top of that.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
So interesting for me. I didn't necessarily talk about with this DeAnna ahead of time, and I'm thinking about people in our audience who are bookkeepers, newer entrepreneurs who may not have a lot of money to
Mhm.
do traditional paid marketing services up front. So I even came into this with a little prejudices of my own, thinking, well, how are new bookkeepers like? How would we expect them to do paid advertising like this, to do mailers and stuff like that? And so my mind is blown, realizing you can think creatively like this, and maybe we can talk to the mindset aspect of that when people are starting a new business, they're a new entrepreneur. We see some of our students get nervous about the cost behind marketing and get limited there. So it sounds like y'all are creative. Y'all have come up with this is a very cool method. So what else can you say to that mindset when someone is a new entrepreneur, new business owners, and they're looking at getting their name out there, and they're stuck with where do I start? How do I do this that maybe not as high cost?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question because that's everybody's fear and everybody's thought when they're
Everybody.
getting started.
Right.
Like, I don't have money I don't have thousands of dollars to put into a direct mail campaign or Facebook ads or whatever it is that they're considering. And we all know marketing adds up fast. So there are so many different ways and I'm glad that you said get your name out there because that is exactly what type of advertising these postcards are. There's indirect advertising, direct response, and direct advertising. So this falls into the indirect, where it's not necessarily meant to generate an immediate response. You just want to get your name out there.
Mhm.
And the example, this is a really vast, different example, but I like to use it because a lot of people can kind of comprehend it. Kia always sponsors the ball drop at Times Square for New Year's Eve. So people are like, do they really think that I'm going to buy a car because Kia is sponsoring the ball drop? But no, when your car breaks down, you're going to go, oh, I think there's a Kia dealership down the street. So it's really just about getting your name out there. And companies spend thousands, if not millions of dollars a month, these large companies, on indirect advertising because it is that important. So anytime you see like a billboard on the side of a building, billboards are indirect advertising.
I have a
Um,
few of those.
yes, yep,
Yeah,
they work. They
they
work
do
great.
work.
Yes. So you're not going to be like, you're not going to have 50% off your next service on a billboard. It's just going to have your name, your location, and tell people that you exist. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do indirect advertising without having to spend a bunch of money. Um, for bookkeepers, you could ask other businesses to like put your flyers at the front of their desk, and you could even do some sort of rev share if you're handing out and they're allowing you to have a space in their business
Hmm.
to showcase their business and send work back to them. You could do some sort of referral fee, where once you make the money, then you pay them. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and indirect advertising is like the perfect route when you don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Deanna loves to talk about life fitting a lot,
Yeah.
about weaving your life in your marketing. So I even think about PTA sponsorships or your kids' baseball games and things like that, ways that you can get your business name out there associated with who you are as a human and being a part of your community. And that's a creative way you can do that as well.
Yes,
I gotta tell
absolutely.
you, yesterday I was at a diner with my grandson, and I go there quite a bit. And I don't know why you make your own mistakes too. You teach it, and then you don't always do it yourself, right? But I was going to this diner, and I was ordering lunch, and on the way out the door, I was like, "Can I put a flyer right here by the sign?" Because they had a sign of some other stuff. It wasn't like a billboard, but they had some stuff. I just had never thought to ask. And you don't
Yeah,
get a yes unless you ask, right? Like
right.
it's always going to be a no if you never ask. And the
Exactly.
lady, because she saw me, she was like, absolutely. I mean, I don't care. I'll leave it up for at least 2 or 3 weeks if you don't. And I'm like, perfect. If you don't mind, let me go grab one. I have one in my car and I'll bring it back in. It was as simple as that as I was checking out. Like,
Yep.
Yep.
here's my burger, right? Here's the card for the burger. And can I put a flyer up? It was
Yeah.
that easy, but I think we try to make marketing so hard in our
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
And yet,
Yeah.
and we do it ourselves, even though we teach this, we forget these little things make a big difference when you're walking out of a diner and you see, oh, Emily Kern bookkeeping services. You may go through and out that diner several times, and then you're like, oh, I need a new a bookkeeper. I'm gonna go. I saw one at the diner. I'm gonna go grab that. That's
Yes.
that's the difference of just always thinking about how you can get in front of people, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have to be some elaborate 12 campaign Facebook
Hmm.
ad like
Funnel.
funnel and this and that and all those fancy words. If you just think outside the box a little bit and start seeing those opportunities of where you can place your flyer, where you can set out some business cards, just think about where your ideal customer is going and try to get your name there.
Yep.
That's really all that it has to be. So, like you said, at the front of the cash register, you put your flyer. You know that everybody comes in that they have a car, they're going to need auto services. So, just where are your customers going and try to get your name there.
The other thing that you mentioned earlier, and I want to pick back up on because we talk about chambers and events all the time, right? Like, but yet I don't think it's completely sunk in. And you said you use a list, right? I have too. I got to tell you, we've gone to several different chamber luncheons, and
Hmm.
you pay the $25 fee. I'm not joking. This is real math. $25 for the lunch. I got the ticket, and then when they were done, this was like 3 weeks ago. They said, we're sending you the list of everyone that's here today. So there's like 80 people in the room. You got the name, the company name, and the email and their physical address for $25. Then they send you a follow-up email and said, would you like to be a member of our association for 75 more dollars? And we'll give you the list of all 1,600. Yes, please. So now I've invested $100 and I've got 1,680 names of actual businesses for $100. Like
Yep,
they don't care. They're selling the list.
Yep.
But I've
exactly.
now got the list. They told them there in the lunch. They're like, hey, market with each other, use each other's services here in the Austin area, because I'm in
Hmm.
Austin, Texas. I got the whole list for $100. I think
Yep.
we forget that it can be that simple. And I got the original list for the luncheon. for $25. So it was very little, and I got a lunch. And people, if they remember, you can reference, hey, I saw you at the lunch, or I didn't connect with you at the lunch. Can we set up
Yeah.
a Zoom? And it's just that simple, right?
It is. It really is. And I even like to tell people our chamber, if you walk in, there's a whole wall of like everybody's business card. They could come
Mhm.
in, they can replenish those business cards. So every time we stop in, we see which ones we haven't grabbed yet. We grab them, I take them home, I put them into our CRM, and I'll send them an email and say, "Hey, I grabbed your card from the Chamber of Commerce. We haven't met yet. I'd love to set up a time to talk." So even that can be considered marketing. Anytime you're putting yourself out there, it's marketing and it doesn't have to cost you money.
Yeah. I kind of want to add like the simplicity of the sales behind this direct mail. And like direct mail, it's been around forever. So it's not like a new educational piece of marketing that you need to convince somebody about. So that's what really makes it easy to talk about and bring to a business owner. And Rachel and I mean, it's so like we do a lot of cold outreach. So that's like the strategy for marketing that we use. And a lot of times it's not even phone calls, it's emails, it's Facebook messages, it's DMs on other social media platforms like Alignable. And like we've closed sales to get people on this card without even having a conversation with them. It's just been strictly like over a text message, never even hearing their voice, never even knowing anything about them. So like the relationship doesn't even have to be that strong
Hmm.
for this to make sense. They just need to believe that you're a real person and you're going to do what you say that you're going to do.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a really good point, Dalton. And to add to that, Um, we always tell people that who are doing this that own businesses themselves. Of course, we're business owners too, but we're the marketers. We're the big bad marketers that people are like, ah, you're gonna take my money. No. And so when you're a business owner yourself and you use this strategy, you're like, hey, I own North Star Automotive and I'm looking for a way to get my marketing costs down. Would you guys want to do this community postcard with me? We all save money. It's cheaper for everybody. We get in front of this many homes.
Mhm.
And then it's just kind of like a buddy system. So if you have a bookkeeping business, same thing. You're just another business owner trying to help other business owners, and you guys all win. So it comes from a really good place. It comes from an even better place if you own something that's not a marketing agency.
well, and I love the fact that like, and I don't know if you have, do you have one of your
We
oversized
do.
postcards that you
Yeah.
can show us? So like I was
Hmm.
just literally looking at the mail on my desk. There you go. See that, everyone? Dalton, can y'all see that there? Like, here's the thing about direct mail. It's back, y'all. It is
Yep.
back with full force, like 100%. If you thought it's old, well, it was, and it's all back, and it's back on fire because people pay attention. You might get 300 emails in your inbox, and you're like, delete, 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 delete. And then you get this in your mail, and you're like, huh, wow, I really should call them. Like I need that service, right?
Yes.
Now, not a little postcard. I mean, the big jumbo, the big one that's going to get your attention, that's not going to get lost in the mail. Like that's the kind of stuff when you're thinking outside of the box. It's truly what is going to get their attention. And direct mail has come back with a vengeance. And I'm so glad to see that because I love direct mail, whether it's the postcards, whether it's the letters with the crooked we talk about this with the crooked stamp with the blue ink and so it's not black, like all the things that you can do to get attention in direct mail, but it's back and people should be using it. And I think we just are so now going, we've gone so far into email and the funnels and the social, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should absolutely
Hmm.
be doing that, but we forget about what started it all, and
Yeah,
what started it all was direct mail, right?
that's
That was the
right.
original marketing.
Yes, exactly. And Dalton always shares a really cool stat, and so I like to share it too. It's something like each household only receives 2 to 3 pieces of mail every day,
Yeah.
versus the Facebook ads that you're seeing every time you scroll through Facebook. It's hundreds upon
Yeah, it's
hundreds.
an average of every 3 to 4 posts that you see on Facebook is an ad. That's like the ratio they go for.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so like direct mail is really popular and really liked amongst Gen Z right now because it's like it's a kind of a new concept. They grew up on technology. So when they receive something in the mail, they're like, this is really cool. So Gen Z is loving direct mail, guys. Let me put that out there.
That's
Yeah.
funny. And I was just sitting here thinking, I used to get I still get annoyed when I get people leaving things on my doorstep, but I did just book my landscaper because they gave me a business card on my doorstep. And so
Yes.
you don't
My
get that.
pool
I'm
cleaner
just now
too.
making that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the thing with my pool cleaner. I was like, oh, I get, because it does work, right? When you
Yes.
see that.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
and there's
want
like a level. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you go ahead.
I
I'm
was
listening and I'm absorbing, but do have a question in a minute.
I was just gonna say there's a level of credibility that you get with direct mail that you don't get with social media
Mhm,
ads. Those can always be faked. Clicks,
Mhm.
there's always click fraud with those as well. That's a whole nother thing that we can go into. But the direct mail people are like, this is a legitimate company. I know that for a fact.
mhm.
So
Well, I wanted going on about the direct mail and indirect marketing. We work with a lot of people who are newer in their entrepreneurial journey and are developing their brand, developing their message. So, if somebody wants to go in this direction, what advice do you have on their branding, on their message to keep it simple but keep it memorable? Something that people will pick up and say, "Oh, okay, out of all of these things I see on here, mail pieces I get, or I'm at a restaurant and." Where you see these mailers, how can they stand out?
yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I think we've seen a shift right now. Of course, everybody knows Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson. We
Yeah.
follow them, we read all of their books, we watch them all the time. But unfortunately, Dan Kennedy's way of headlines is just not hitting the mark anymore because his headlines are like paragraphs. They did work, they are amazing, and but now everybody has such a short attention span. You want to capture their attention within the first 3 seconds. And I mean, it's the same for social media ads, but it's the same for direct mail. If they can't see exactly what you do on that postcard within the first 3 seconds, you've probably lost their attention. So make sure whatever sort of branding or messaging, don't try to get too cute with it. Just be really straightforward and make sure that it's clear. So the shorter the better, the more clear the better. You can depict that through pictures, through a very clear headline. It just has to be super, super direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever seen Bucky's? Do y'all know the
Oh
gas
yeah.
station
Oh yeah.
Bucky's? Right?
Yep.
If you ever go down, and I love to use this analogy because I see it, and someone said the other day they were like, "Oh, billboards don't work," and I'm like, "Yes, they do. Billboards
Yes, they
work
do.
amazingly well." But if you ever look, Bucky's, if you're going down the highway here in Texas, there's 50 of them back
Hmm.
to back to back to back,
Mhm.
and it's not many words. It's like a 3-word sentence with the Bucky. And then it's
Yep.
another 3-word sentence and the Bucky. Like
Hmm.
you start realizing what's the pitch, and then you've got the image. And that's it. It's very clear. You know what you read it, it's clear. It's not lots of words. And I see somewhere, I saw one literally yesterday, was I was driving to the lake house. It was a roofing company. And I mean, gotta love them, but it was like a full paragraph. And as you're
Oh
driving,
God.
I'm thinking, I can't read that fast. I'm
Right.
driving.
Right. Exactly.
You know? So it's like you've lost the message because I'm driving right past it. I can't see it fast enough. I mean, and read it fast enough to really get it. But like you said, Bucky's has got it dialed in. If you should be following that. Like
Yep.
it's bright colors, it's one-liners, it's one image that they use over and over. It's the same color schemes. So when you see it, you identify and you move quickly
Mhm.
with it and you know, right? It's the same thing. And it's just
Yeah.
making it quick and simple and getting to the point.
Exactly. That's a really good example. Bucky's is like the perfect example
Got
for that.
50 of them right behind each other and in the same
Yes.
like 10-mile stretch. You're like, there's 50 billboards. I'm like, well, they definitely have money spent
Yes.
on their marketing.
Well, and I think too there it's the consistency factor. It's the you
Mhm.
Yes.
have multiple if there's just one billboard you drive past, but you see one and maybe you don't recognize it, but then the next one, then you're like, oh, I am a little thirsty. And then you see the next
I
one, and
do
then
need
suddenly it's
peanuts.
the
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe I need to go to the bathroom, I'm not gonna stop here. Here's the next one. So how can we bridge that into small bookkeeping businesses with that level of consistency? Obviously, we're not investing in that level of, I mean, maybe you can in billboards and stuff like that, but I think it's the consistency factor. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah. Oh, were you gonna say
No,
something,
go
Dalton?
ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, consistency is key. And so I recommend like using the same fonts. Use a picture, like Deanna was saying, it's the same picture on every single billboard. Something that clearly depicts your brand. And I think that that's just the biggest thing. And if you have like one phrase or a couple of different phrases that you kind of rotate out, um, that makes sense for your audience and you know is going to capture them immediately, that's really as simple as it needs to be.
Yeah, let's I mean let's kind of bring an example into this. So, um, a coffee shop, like you're probably going to get response. The first card that goes out, you're going to get people coming in with the coupon that's on the card in direct mail. But if you're a roofer, I mean, if you're throwing out indirect advertising like a billboard, I mean, you may not make a sale for a couple months. So what you're trying to do is play the top of mind awareness game to when somebody needs a roof, you're the first person they think of. They Google your name and then look, your Google business profile pops up first, and now they're calling you. So like with this specifically, it's like a little mini billboard in the mailbox, and all you're doing is just poking their brain, going, "Hey, I'm still here when you need me," and that's that's the great part of the cards.
Hmm.
And I think you're also consistent with the cadence of when you send it out. You can like if you do it like every quarter or every month, I don't know how often people do it. It could also be once you have that image, your logo for your business, put it on a shirt, put it on a hat, wear it. Wear it
Yep.
out there where people see it, where they're like, "Oh, I thought I just saw a postcard about that. Oh, I just saw the flyer in the post office or in the
Hmm.
cafe," right? And you start seeing, and you start connect, like Dalton saying, connecting the dots because it also may not be necessarily just you. You might not need the bookkeeper. Maybe your parents need a bookkeeper. Maybe it's your next door neighbor that came and asked you, God, man, I gotta get my books in order. I'm getting audited or this, and you're like, oh, I know someone. I just saw that on a postcard. Like it's also who you know, and so you just never know when to be in front of them. And it is the long game, Dalton. It's absolutely,
Hmm.
especially with bookkeeping because it may not happen overnight, but it's going to keep happening. And the thing about bookkeeping is it's not going anywhere. Every business needs one. There's a plethora of need out there. It's just consistently being in front of them to make you stand out from anyone else, right?
I
Yeah. Yeah. With any sort of like paid ads, you're looking at the direct response. That falls into direct response. So you're wanting to make sure that you have an ROI on your ad spend. With the postcards, and any form of indirect advertising, it's really about that top of mind awareness. So when it comes to top of mind awareness, you just have to think, where can I plaster my brand?
Mhm.
How can I get my brand all around town? Yard signs, t-shirts, hats, billboards, some things that don't have to cost money. We have given away shirts so that people in the town are wearing our shirts because everybody's going to wear a free t-shirt.
Right, right. Of course, or a hat or
Yes.
something, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I want to kind of throw out an example for the credibility. So we have a community that we teach this. So we've got over 230 people actively running this, and we've got people in Ireland, we've got people in Australia, Canada, all doing this strategy. So it can literally be done anywhere, and there's no excuse. But for somebody in our group to kind of, Rachel brought up credibility and what these bring. We were working with a realtor, and the realtor was doing these cards in their area, and then she talked to her mom, and her mom got a random realtor's card that was this giant like solo mailer, and the mom was like, oh my god, this person must be doing really good to be like sending out direct mail. Like the credibility was almost instant with
Right.
that, like, that person for the consumer. It's like, imagine if you're putting yourself and other businesses out there building that credibility because they think you're doing well to show up in a mailbox.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you take the price of the postcard and you go out and let's say there's how many people are on there, right, Rachel? How
We
many are
fit up to 16 and they can buy multiple spots.
okay, so you sell 15 others and it pays for yours, then it's essentially free, guys, right? You
Yep.
can do the math, but you figure out how you go get other 16 or 15 other businesses that want to do that postcard with you, or however, or maybe it's bigger and you sell more, but you let other businesses join you, then essentially you're getting yours for free. That's the
Hmm.
best part, right?
Yeah.
And everyone loves free marketing. I
Right.
know I do.
Exactly.
Well, the good thing about these cards is you actually only need to fill half of it, and it's paid for. So,
Yeah. It's about half and you break even.
yep. So,
So, I mean, if you wanted to give yourself one whole side and then just fill the spots on the back, you can do that too. So, like, if this is really about brand recognition, then make sure you give yourself a nice big spot and then make some smaller spots on the
yep.
back or give yourself half and then,
Mhm.
you know, but
That's
if you're,
gold. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you're just kind of owning the postcard and then
Yep.
everybody else is paying for it. That's what we did for our brand specifically when we did the chamber mailing. We
Mhm.
had our, yeah,
I like it.
here's
There
our
you
real
go,
estate.
Dalton.
Yep.
Real estate investor.
Yep. Yeah, and for the business to business mailing, gave ourselves one whole side and then we had three businesses on the back. So like we were front And another piece of advice I want to give you, that this is actually a lot of people don't understand this, but you want to make sure that your brand is on the side with the address space, because the carriers are actually trained to put them in the mailbox with that side facing up, and they look at that side first. So make sure that
Wow.
you're on the same side as the address space, the indicia space, whatever the stamp needs to be for the kind of mailing you're doing, put yourself on that side.
Yep.
That was a mic drop right there, everybody.
I didn't know that. That's so interesting. What I'm
Yeah,
learning is really we have to go back to our roots here. You know, you think everybody thinks social media, get online, email campaigns, stuff like that. But this is kind of mind-blowing thinking about how we have gone full cycle back to mailers and things like that. It's so interesting.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's like the book thing, right? Like no one really ever makes money on being an author of a book. It's for
yeah.
credibility. And I think what
Mhm.
Dalton was saying here is, you're playing the long game by doing the big postcard and this perception, and perception's reality. Like they're like, "Oh, this company must be doing really good. Look, that got this oversized postcard." And
Yeah,
yet you got eight other people to pay for it for you, and you got free advertising, right? But now everyone that sees this thinks, "Wow, you're a massive bookkeeping agency. I definitely need to be calling you because
yep,
you sent this to me," right? So it's just that perception as well, um, is why you do it. I love that.
yeah. I couldn't agree more. You're only limited to how creative you can be. And
Absolutely.
that is so true. I mean, and especially with AI these days, if you don't feel
Mhm.
like you're creative, just sit down with AI and just start asking questions and see what comes up with it. I mean, there are so many different ways that you can think outside of the box and really start to kind of set yourself apart from your competition.
I love that. Well, this obviously sets them apart. If they just did this, this would set them apart from their competition for sure, because obviously a lot of people are not using direct mail and it's back. And I think
Mhm.
that's the key, is that if you're not paying attention to what is trending right now, you're going to be left behind. And direct mail marketing is definitely trending.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. And it's so funny because we do a lot of digital marketing type things and
Mhm.
AI type things inside of our agency as well. So when we say, of course, like our business name is Big Sky Automation. So of course, we build out tons of automations and things like that. So we're very technical. And then when we go, yeah, we do postcards and all this stuff, they're like, really? Like they're kind of surprised. They're like, I
Yeah.
thought you did everything online and digital. It's like, no way, man. We're not sleeping on direct mail.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Emily, I know we want to be careful of time. Is there any other like final questions we'd like to ask them to kind of wrap up today?
Yeah, I guess I would just love to know. I mean, first of all, I'm convinced. Like, I need to figure out how to be doing this. This is so interesting. Second of all, just for our audience, if they could take one thing from this conversation, there's a lot of noise in business, in entrepreneurship, and like the new trend, and in the do this to do that to grow your business. If you could nail it down into one new piece of information, something that they can try this month in their new business, what would your advice be?
Um, It would depend on their budget, and I would assume being a new business, there isn't a big budget. And of course, I know obviously we've been talking about the shared postcards, but it really is a great way to start getting your name out there and building that brand without having to spend any money. And also, depending on how you lay it out, it's something that you can make money doing. So it's something that they can put money in their pocket with and use that to possibly fund a billboard or fun ads or things like that. So again, like I said, you're only limited to as creative as you can be, and don't let the budget part scare you. Don't let the competition scare you. If you can do some small things to set yourself apart without having to go into your pockets like your competitors do, you're going to win all day.
Mhm. Now,
Mhm.
if they wanted to go and do direct mail and have your company do it, are you able to send us information that Emily can drop here and they can reach
Yeah.
out to y'all?
Absolutely. We'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, we actually
Hmm.
have a free mini course that literally throws the whole layout, and we'll provide that link for Emily so that they can access that.
Well, there you go, everyone listening. You get some free training, additional training, and if you want to have them handle the direct mail piece of that, you can definitely reach out to Rachel and Dalton. We'll put that information here as well to make sure that you guys can connect with them. So, anything that you would like to leave people with, because I always like to say, like I want them to leave with one piece of one little nugget that says, "Don't be afraid to go out there and do this." And so, what would you suggest would be that one piece of advice for people that are listening and watching here today?
I think my advice is always if you have a dream and if that dream has anything to do with leaving a job, ask me. I've done it. Do it.
I remember that.
It is the best thing that we have
Yeah.
done. We went full into our business a couple of years ago, and I can't imagine going back to a 9 to 5. I think that if you're even thinking about entrepreneurship or starting a business or anything outside of a job, it means that you were meant to do it because there's a lot of people that just are comfortable doing that and they don't want to change. So if you want to change, make sure you do it.
I know. I said that to my husband yesterday because I have my grandson here. I'm surprised he didn't butt in. Y'all got to meet him, but I have my grandson here today, and I took him to lunch yesterday, and I'm doing some stuff with him this afternoon, and then I'm gonna go pick up the other grandson tomorrow afternoon and do something with him. And I'm like, I could not do this if I had a job. Like I went to the diner yesterday and had a burger with my grandson and I got to like jobs, you can't do that. When you own
Exactly.
your own business, you get to decide if you want to do a 2 o'clock in the afternoon lunch with your grandchild or your child. You just the freedom is completely there. You
Yep.
are your boss. I asked myself if I could take myself to lunch and I said yes. All right, I'm
Yeah,
going.
right.
Right? It was great.
Easy as that. I
It was
love
that
it.
fast.
Yeah.
I asked
Yeah.
my boss, she totally agreed today.
Right. And she's like, you know what? You might as well take two.
That's right. So it's the
Yeah.
best decision. And I know it can be scary, right? Like, and I know y'all will say the same thing. It's like you got that little seed in your head and you're like, oh my gosh. But then when you're on this other side, it's like, wow, this, I should have done this sooner because it is so freeing to be
Mhm.
able to choose who you work for, when you work, do whatever kind of marketing you want, take off when you want, just be your own boss, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. We spent last summer we spent a few months on the coast, like the Western coast, Oregon and Washington, and then we spent a couple of months in the Midwest with our family, and we just got back from Colorado last week. So I mean, we're always going somewhere and doing something
Yeah, we
because we
traveled on a
can.
cruise last year together too. We
Oh
did
yeah,
the
we
Yes,
did the
Investor
cruise.
Cruise.
and next month too.
Next month we're going
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you can just take off and just do whenever because you
Mhm.
can, right?
Yep.
I love
So
that.
stay unemployable. That's what I like to tell
Yeah.
people.
Oh, that's
I love
that's the
that.
key. Stay
Yes.
That's going to
unemployable.
be our
Yep.
thumbnail.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love that. Well, Emily, anything else for Dalton or Rachel today?
I am predicting an episode part 2 in the future just to talk about
Two.
entrepreneurship and your journey. This was really awesome. I hope everybody who is listening has enjoyed this. We will make sure to collect social. We will collect that free training and things so you all can take advantage of those resources. And if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a comment, send us an email, info@stayatehomebookkeeper.com, and we can do more content. If you want to hear back again from Rachel and Dalton about their journey in general as entrepreneurs, so let us know and we'll have them back. This has just been a great conversation. I've learned so much. I've been taking some mental notes. I'm going to take the recording of this and make some notes for myself. So thank you both. Thank you for your time. And DeAnna, you want to close us out?
Rachel, Dalton, you two are just some of my favorites. I just love you to death, and I'm so grateful for you taking the time out today to share with our community. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure getting to see you, Deanna, and it was really awesome to get to hang out with you as well, Emily. This was a lot of
I
fun.
agree.
Well,
Thanks for having us.
if anyone in the direct mail marketing, it's you guys. Like you guys, again, like I said, thinking outside of the box is what you do. And thank you for just sharing just a few moments of your time today to do that. Y'all, these two are amazing when it comes to that. And so yes, we will have to have a part 2, maybe a part 3, part 4. I don't know. We'll see how far we can push that. But they are just incredible people. And what we want to encourage you is to think outside of the box. Don't let the box scare you and think that you have to think within that. Think outside. What's going to get your attention? What's going to get you seen? What is going to be, is it going to be you in the inbox, in your mailbox that they see? Is it going to be you that they see at the local diner or at the post office? Like, you need to be seen, and think about how to get there. Don't be afraid to take those action steps because they're very easy. Once you start, it's so easy. You just have to take that momentum and do it, right? So I want to
Yeah.
encourage you all to do that. I want to encourage you all to, if you want to reach out and do a mailer, reach out to Rachel and Dalton. We'll share that information and get someone else to pay for your marketing. I love that idea. All right, everyone. Thank you again, and go after your dreams. If you too are building your bookkeeping business, we love that you're following us. If you're thinking about starting it, we would love to chat with you more and share on how to do that. But thank you again for joining us. We're here at the Stay Home Bookkeeper podcast, and we'll hopefully see you on the next one. Bye,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thank you.